The ocean is way deeper than most of us realize. In fact, if you took all the land from the tops of every continent and island and used it to fill the ocean's deepest spots, the entire Earth would be covered in an ocean that's 2 miles deep. Right now, about 3/4 of our planet is already underwater, and it goes much deeper than that. To give you a sense of scale, this little dot is the size of an average human, this slightly bigger is the size of an elephant, and this massive represents the largest ship ever built, the Nock Nevis. Now, let's dive underwater and see what we find. At 40 meters down, we hit the maximum depth for recreational scuba diving. At 93 meters, we find the wreck of the Lusitania, which is interesting because the ship itself is 240 meters long. So, if it were standing on its end, it would still be sticking out of the water. Just a bit deeper, at 100 meters, diving can become dangerous due to decompression sickness. But that didn't stop Herbert Nitsch from setting a free diving world record at 214 meters deep, all on one breath. The scuba diving world record is held by Ahmed Gabbar at 332 meters, which is pretty close to the height of the Empire State Building if it were underwater. At 500 meters down, we reach the max dive depth for blue whales, the largest creatures on Earth. At 535 meters, we get to the maximum dive depth of emperor penguins. Here's where the water pressure gets intense. At this depth, it's like a polar bear standing on a quarter. Moving further down to 830 meters, we'd be at the height of the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, the tallest building in the world. Once we hit 1,000 meters, we enter the scary zone. Light from the surface can't reach here anymore, so it's total darkness. Plus, the water pressure is about the same as standing on the surface of Venus, meaning you'd be in big trouble real quick. You might even encounter a giant squid down there if the pressure doesn't get you first. At 1,280 meters, we reach the deepest point dove by leatherback sea turtles, and at 1,828 meters, we'd find ourselves at the deepest part of the Grand Canyon if it were underwater. Down at 2,000 meters, we start running into some creepy sea creatures, like the ominously named black dragonfish, which has a stomach that doesn't let any light through. So, in total darkness, you'd only see it with a flashlight. A bit deeper, at 2,250 meters, we hit the maximum dive depth for both sperm whales and the super scary colossal squid. Sperm whales often have scars from battles with colossal squids, likely at these incredible depths. These squids can grow up to 14 meters long and weigh as much as 750 kilograms, with eyes the size of dinner plates and razor-sharp hooks on their tentacles. Good luck with that down there. Way down at 3,800 meters, we find the wreck of the RMS Titanic. A little past that, at 4,000 meters, we enter the abyssal zone where water pressure is an insane 11,000 pounds per square inch. Here, you'd encounter bizarre, almost alien-like creatures, such as fong-toothed fish, anglerfish, and viperfish. At 4,267 meters, we reach the average depth of the ocean where you'd expect to hit the bottom, but there are places in the ocean that go much deeper than that. The wreckage of the battleship Bismarck is at 4,791 meters, and at 6,000 meters, we hit the start of the Hadal Zone, named after the underworld Hades. Pressure here can be over 1,100 times what you'd feel at the surface, which is like an elephant standing on a postage stamp or one person carrying the weight of 50 Boeing 747s. At these depths, you'd be crushed immediately without protection, but life still manages to exist in strange forms. At 6,500 meters, we reach the maximum depth the research sub DSV Alvin can dive to. At 8,848 meters, we arrive at the height of Mount Everest if it were flipped upside down and submerged underwater. Going even deeper, at 10,898 meters, we hit the depth reached by James Cameron in 2012 during the Deep Sea Challenger mission. The deepest point humans have reached is 10,916 meters, which two guys named Don Walsh and Jacques Piccard got to in 1960 aboard the Trieste submarine. It took them 5 hours to descend to that depth, and they only stayed for 20 minutes before a window cracked and they had to come back up. Just a bit deeper, at 10,972 meters, we're at the average cruising altitude of a commercial airliner. So, if you've ever looked out the window of a plane and gazed down, that's a good sense of how deep we are in the abyss. Finally, at 10,994 meters, we hit the bottom of the known ocean, called Challenger Deep, located about 300 kilometers southwest of Guam Island. But there are likely even deeper parts of the ocean that haven't been discovered yet. For instance, the Serena Deep was discovered in 1997 at a depth of 10,732 meters, making it the second deepest known point in the ocean. It's estimated that only about 5% of the ocean floor has been accurately mapped, leaving the other 95% a mystery. It could just be a matter of time before we find an even deeper part of our ocean, and who knows what we might discover there.